Good afternoon, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. We are not doing a review, though. We are once again rocking through my best of 2020. And this one, I'm going to go for one from Scout Comics here. By the way, I know this is a bit later than we planned on doing it, like 40 minutes. But we had some people come in, and I never had a chance between visits or anything like that. And I like to do this live with the shutdown. If I record things in advance and I watch it and think, oh, it's terrible, and I keep going over and over again until I get it right. But there's no such thing as getting it right when you're me. So instead, I just waited until we had a time with nobody in the store, closed the shutter, and here I am. And while we're talking about the fact that this is Scout Comics, if I didn't already mention this, just as a quick reminder, I managed to get through best of the year, 10 titles, only one publisher twice. I quite like the fact that it's gone this way, because it's not been an intent. I didn't pick a publisher that's better than anyone else. Literally just stuff that I liked. Covers a whole range, including some stuff from Marvel and from DC, which is absolutely fantastic. But today we're talking about Scout Comics, and Scout Comics are great. I've only been well, actually, they've only been going for a few years, I think. But it's only the last year and a half, 2 years that I've really been paying much attention to them. And it's because a few things had, I hate to say it, just great looking covers. If I'm going to criticize them, I am just a little bit, if they'll allow it. There's a few times when I picked up their issue ones and really liked it, but consistency throughout the run hasn't been high enough for me. And 3 or 4 issues in, I'm like, oh, well, never mind, I'll find something else by them, because they're always putting out new stuff, always putting out great stuff. So, Grit, this one right here, is only 3 issues. Perfect. When I got to the end and realized that was it, it instantly made me think of Netflix when I first started watching actual things that are made for Netflix. Because the moment you get away from network TV, and you don't have to worry about ad breaks and series lengths and stuff like that, and you just pay people for coming in and doing the job that needs to be done and tell the story that needs to be told. You can do an episode that's 20 minutes long, and next week do one that's 40 minutes long. You can do one series that's 6 episodes, the next one that's 8, the next one that's 10, the next one's 5. Comic books have this tendency to stick to 4 to 6, maybe 12 if you're Tom King, or just an ongoing, and you can have mini arcs amongst all that. But you don't need to. You can just tell a story that lasts as long as you need it to. And when you're doing something that's short, brutal, and amazing, just do your 3 issues. Have arcs in there just long enough to grab my attention. You don't need to do a whole bunch of world building unless you really want to, and there is some decent world building in this one, by the way. Wickman does a really, really good job without doing much, to just get a sense of this being kind of like our world in the past, but not exactly like our world. There's enough in there that it's like, when the supernatural things happen, it's like, oh my god, supernatural things, like, oh, goblins again. Everything just pans out really nicely. It feels really organic without having to spend ages on it, without having to give me a detailed history of where the goblins came from and why they live where they do, and why this cult is following these people and sacrificing these things and creating this blood god. All that doesn't really matter. The fact that it's happening is enough. And when you're only doing it in 3 issues, who worries about all the rest of it? Let's get to the fighting. And oh my god, the fighting is amazing in this. I actually wanted to have my entire 3-issue arc here so I could show you all of it, and I could literally just keep showing you pages of fight scenes. Because, yeah, giant blood god, absolutely brilliant, huge fight. And that's a bit of it. There's great bits where he's just hacking parts of heads off things, not even entire heads, so you can see the jawline being smashed apart. Really, really fun. Brutal stuff. I mean, let's look at that. Isn't that just amazingly cool? And the pacing on this, 4, 3, 2, 1, on the panel layout as well, that's thought into that. That's not an accidental, oh, I'm trying to do this story in this best way of doing it. It's no, I'm going to deliberately frame my timing on this one in a way that's going to move the eye around in a certain way to show speed and brutality and the nature of the way the character moves. And the guy doing the killing isn't even the major character. Well, he's the major character, but there's a secondary character who's just as important, has a great arc, and ends up saving the day. And it's brilliant because you get a really cool secondary character coming in when you're not expecting them, who ends up being absolutely amazing. That's kind of why I wish I had parts 2 and 3, because I could show you the other characters as well. And you've got a great ending to it. And it doesn't go quite the way I expected it to, but it doesn't also just crap on its storytelling. The ending makes perfect sense within the world. And by the way, the dialogue in it is brilliant as well. You've got a lot of non-human characters talking to human characters and talking amongst themselves. There's an awful lot of great organic little backwards and forwards. The dialogue kind of buzzes along at the same pace that the storytelling does as well. I'm really hoping he's going to do something else with these characters in this world, because I think there's an awful lot of scope there. But I love the idea of it just being another story. It doesn't have to be the follow-on from here. It doesn't have to involve other background characters that turn up in this one. It doesn't have to have the same cult coming back to get revenge. It could just be this guy who's a jobbing monster hunter just going off and getting a job. hunting some monsters. It's all it needs to be. And it's perfect because it works just as it is. No extras, no faffing around, straight to the point, and delivers exactly what it's supposed to do. And that's why it's amazing. And that's why when it comes out, it's only going to be $8.99 for the entire collection. You should get it. Everyone should. It's just a really nice little bit of writing. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to do a review, and we'll carry on with our best of the year. Take it easy. Bye.